an idea that a lot of people had been fighting for a long time is this idea that there's just one thing or one small set of qualities to be a good manager or leader. And that's just not true. And we see all kinds, we see people, big, small, all races, all ethnicities, all different kinds of personalities. Yeah. You can be a good leader with almost any set of personality traits, so long as you're adapting them so that if one of your traits is extroverted, you know when to shut up. And if one is introverted, on the other hand,
you know that you have to speak at times.
And I could list, I don't know how many I could list, but I'm going to give it a try. Here's all the narrow leadership theories that encourage people to let go of the 50 things you have to do to be a good manager and only focus on a couple. Authentic leadership. Just be yourself. And if it feels authentic to you, do it. Servant leadership. Have a servant's heart. And if you try to serve others, there will always be good outcomes. Charismatic leadership. Have that energy, have that kind of special inspiration, and you'll be a good leader. Transformational leadership, which is like the grandfather of charismatic leadership. Be inspirational, motivate other people, all the way back to, in the very beginning, 100 years ago, great man theory. The tall people would be the great leaders. It was always the tall men, basically.
Born with certain traits.
Right, and this, I know if you're listening to this and you're under the age of 30, this may all be a surprise, but my dad, may he rest in peace, he died 6 months ago. In my dad's college, when my dad was in college at the military academy, they sorted people into companies by height. Still following the idea that it was for two reasons. One was, well, we think the higher people are more likely to be the leaders. The other is because for the parades, we want the higher people all in one spot. And that
was 60s.
Insane. Like, not 1760s. This was 1960. Mm-hmm. And this wasn't, East Junior Community College. This was West Point, the military academy. And so great managers have to be able to do 100 things well. That's why there's infinite amount of topics in this podcast. If all you had to do was be yourself and be inspirational, we could cover that in probably a couple hours and we'd be good to go. But there's not. There's times when you have to let other people be the inspiration and you be more of a follower. There's times when you have to not talk and let other people talk. There's times when you have to be very stern, and there's other times when you have to be as loving as Oprah Winfrey. And you got to be able to do all those things.
Because not only are you dealing with different people, but they're different from moment to moment.
That's right. And we're gonna do this podcast long enough to where there'll be another theory. One day in a couple of years, there'll be something else, and it'll be hot. And people will have heard about it. Have you heard about this new? Well, and it'll be some other theory.
Yeah, some of them catch on not because they're accurate, but because they're appealing. And this is an appealing theory because you don't have to actually do anything to meet it. But it fails on the research side, but it also fails just on the fact that you are making a gigantic assumption that everybody's authentic self is going to have integrity,
right,
be positive,
right,
want to develop other people. Right. That's not everybody's authentic self.
Yeah. And almost everybody conflates authenticity with their values. And people can differ. Good people can differ on the things that they value, and that will cause you to fight and argue. Mm-hmm. Because, I'm being authentic to this is my value in this situation. I value that right now we do what's best for the company, short term. Well, somebody else may value the long term. This will be worse for the company now, but it'll be a better investment later. And you think, I'm being authentic. We need to do this for the company right now. And this other person, I'm being authentic. We need to invest for the future. And so then you're now actually fighting.
Well, and I think that that's what we have to get into next. So like these are like all the problems with the theory straight out of the gate. But, then what are we saying to people? Be fake? No, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying be fake. We're saying that leadership means that you have to be able to emotionally regulate yourself, pay attention to your people, figure out, obviously you need to know what the goals are for your department, your organization, and what you're doing, but you also have to figure out sort of in the moment where they need the support.
Yep.
And then help lead them in the direction that you want to lead them. You're not forgoing leadership by paying attention to your people. You still are taking the wheel. It's just that you're taking the wheel while considering them and their needs. And the authentic piece, you don't have to go to work and not and just be impulsive about who you are to be authentic. You are many, many people. You're the person who shows up to church. You're the person who shows up to grandma's. You're the person who...
Right, meaning you act one way at church, you act one way at grandma's. You go to Las Vegas, you act another way.
Right. You go to New Orleans, you act another way. So you're all these people. And so when you go to work, be the professional person. Be the person who's coming in, solving problems, moving things ahead, helping other people grow, and basically creating a work environment where people are safe to bring their best efforts to the work.
Yeah, and not all that's going to feel authentic.
No, sometimes you're going to suck it down because this person actually knows what they're doing and, maybe they're having a bad time.
Yeah. Yeah, some days what will feel authentic is to go into the office and shut your door and not talk to anybody. And you're going to have to do the opposite.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to have a negative conversation with somebody, and after you're both going to want to duck each other. And as a manager, you can't do that because that person will hide forever, and you got to get out there and you got to do the thing that you don't want to do. And when you're in trouble with your boss and you don't want to go to all these functions, you need to get out there and you need to go, because it's the only way that you wind up staying engaged and basically recover.
Yeah. You have to be very careful. Authenticity is often an excuse for bad behavior or an excuse for too heavily emotionally driven behavior. When we want to be informed by our emotions all the time. How do I feel? Am I angry? Am I happy? But not have those emotions choose our behavior.
Right. You can... Yeah. I was just listening to a book that isn't typical for me to listen to, but it had so many recommendations. I picked it up.
What's it called? The Vegan Cookbook? Let me guess. A book that you wouldn't normally listen to. How about all the reasons I love snow skiing?
That's true. I definitely would not.
Snow skiing is an amazing sport.
No, I'm not picking up that book. No, it's called The Untethered Soul. Anyway, this book was interesting because, I'm only in the very beginning of it, but the idea is, look, you have this person in your head, this voice that's always in your head, and you think about it as you, but in order for you to observe the voice, you can't be the voice. You're the awareness.
Right, I understand.
And so, You made me think of it because you're like, hey, we have all these emotions, and yes, they confer information. But one of the points in that book is, look, that voice, pay attention. It's wrong a lot. So when you're having that instinctual moment where you're feeling that emotion and that voice is telling you you're getting jacked with, right? Step back and be like, really? Right. My voice, am I getting jacked with? Maybe I need to see this from a different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate to, you don't want to peel the onion too far back because people will wonder what's actually true. But the science is pretty clear that not only is the voice in our heads often wrong, but we don't even know what we feel And so we're putting names. We're saying, how do I feel right now? Well, I feel upset. Well, am I? Or am I just hungry? Well, I'm sad. Well, am I? Or have I just not been outside yet today? I mean, like,
right.
as
It's
foundational as we think emotions are.
and the senses. The
Yeah.
senses lie to us all the time.
Yeah. We think we're running on good data. That's all. And so if we don't actually know how we feel a lot of the time, and we'll put a name on it anyway, if the voice in our head is often wrong.
At least putting a name on it is a start. It starts to help unwind it.
Yes, but usually people, as soon as they put a name on it, they assume it to be true and they move on. And so it becomes a data point. And so how do I feel right now? Well, I'm mad. Data point, mad. And then I move on from being mad. And the next set of my thoughts or actions are informed by being mad. When actually, if I stopped and reflected, I'm not mad, I'm hungry. And if I put that label on it, it might lead to a different set of actions and outcomes.
Sure.
And so
But before you be reflective, you have to start with trying to label it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're not looking for perfection in anyone. Just to come back to this idea of
authenticity.
What's wrong with being authentic? What's wrong is, how are you going to figure out what's authentic if you don't even know how you feel a lot of the times? And the voice telling you to be authentic is often wrong. And so, not to get all qualitative metaphysical.
Oh, see, and that was like the reason why this isn't my
like
typical book. No, I mean, it's actually, I thought that was very constructive. Like, in order for there to be awareness of the voice means that the voice is actually not you. Like, you are the awareness.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're the observer.
The fatal flaw in authentic leadership is it assumes that there's an authentic you and not a you that's constantly changing.
Yeah.
And trying to meet the variety of moments that you find yourself in.